The honorable present, our lecturer, Mr. Dr. Kaharuddin, S.IP. M.Hum, and all of you guys. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm Ismail Mubarak. I'm a first year student of English Education Department, Class A 2021, Tarbiyah and Teaching Science Faculty at Alauddin State Islamic University of Makassar. Well, today in this video, I would like to discuss some questions as my final project of introduction to linguistic lecture at my college. In this video, there are 10 questions and I'll discuss it, and then at the end, I'll give a conclusion about the discussion today. So the structure of this discussion is opening, discussion, and the last is conclusion. Well, so let's get started. Well, firstly, we need to know what language, linguist, and linguistic are, so we'll see their differences. Language is a system of communication that humans use to communicate message from their feelings to other, while linguist is a language scientist or someone who good at foreign languages, and linguistic is a scientific study that built on languages. And about the relationship, as I said, language and linguistic have a strong correlation. Language depends on linguistic as much as linguistic depends on language. They are like two sides of the same coin. And linguistic is a scientific study that is built on languages, which is language is an object of their study, and they need linguistic to learn about language. Communication is the process of sending and receiving symbols, message, or information in which the receiver tries to understand or decode the message from sender. For example, there are two people are talking each other, named Andy and Rina. Andy talked to Rina, which is Andy sent a message to Rina, and Rina listened what Andy talked and tried to understand or decode the message that Andy sent. And then after understanding the message from Andy, Rina talked to Andy too, which is give a feedback about the message that Andy sent. And this process is called communication. There are three communication systems that humans have as communication message in speech. Speech is produced when we are speaking, which is contain a series of symbols into a word into a sentence by arrange it, and the sentence are spoken to deliver a message from our mind. The second is communicating message using symbols in writing. Writing is the second mode of communication that commonly used by humans, which is a tool that humans use to convey abstract thought or feelings through a symbol in the form of text. And the third is communicating message in gesture. Gesture is a movement of a part of our body, like our hand, head, to communicating or express our message. We have to use the part types to communicate in written form. As the first is knowledge of content. Content refers to the information that is available in written text. When someone have either to write something, they have to make sure that the either that what they want to write, they know about the information. They have a knowledge about the items that they want to write. But if they don't have information about it, they can make a researches by reading book and journal, so they can get much information about the items that they want to write. So this is important, the knowledge of content before we write something. The second is knowledge of linguistic. Knowledge of linguistic refers to the ability to encode information into language components such as words, phrase, sentence by using correct spelling, word selection, and also grammar. The third is knowledge of organization, about way to organizing information. This knowledge about how writers organize sentence and paragraphs in their writing to make the reader more easily to follow and understand the text. And the fourth is knowledge of style, about the way to expressing information. Knowledge of style refers to ability to arrange the paragraph in a good text structure, which is text structure is the way to organize the text well. There are three theories to describe the origin of language, as the theory of divine origin. The story believes that language is God gives to mankind. And in Islam, it's believed that Almighty Allah taught Prophet Adam about a language, which is Adam as the first human that created by Allah. The second, the theory of evolutionary development. This theory asserts that language is a result of a gradual change in human communication system over time, from gesture to complex languages. And the third is the theory of language as human invention, which is this theory believes that only humans have language, like another creator like animals don't have languages. Phonetics is essentially the study and classification of speech sound. It studies human speech sounds in their physical aspect. There are three concepts of phonetics, as speech organs or articulators is a part of human body that used to communicate a message, which produced by flowing air from the lung to the mouth. And the second is speech sound is produced when we speak in a particular language. We must understand that speech sound are not the letters that spell out the word. For example, this word, we produce it or we pronounce it, we said it Q, not Q or anything else, but Q. It contains a consonant and vowel sounds in phonetic. And the last is the production of speech sound, which is a process of making speech sound by using speech organ or articulators. When we produce speech sound, there are two types sounds in phonetic, as segmental sound and suprasegmental sound. Segmental sounds refers to the way consonant and vowel sound are produced, which is there we know as a IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet, which is an international set of phonetic symbol like consonant and vowel, and suprasegmental sound focus to word stress, intonation, and juncture when we are speaking or produce a speech sound. In phonology, we learned how to apply the knowledge of speech sound or phonetic in the pronunciation system of language, because phonology studies how speech sound in their cognitive aspect, like how speech sound organized and how speech sound are used. In phonology, we will talk about sound patterns and phonological rules. Sound patterns are about contrastive and non-contrastive sound. Contrastive sound representative to minimal pairs. A minimal pairs can define as two words that have the same phonemes and different in one phonemes and meanings. For example, look at this word. This is the example of minimal pairs, but why we can conclude that it's minimal pairs? So there are three characteristics that we should know, so we'll understand what is minimal pairs. The first is contain the same number of segments. So this word contains the same number of segments. There are 3 segments. And the second is different in only one phoneme. Only one phoneme. What is V and F? It's different. And the last is different in meanings. These words have different meaning. The meaning is, so they are different. And the next is non-contrastive sound, representative to allophone. Allophone is sound variation of the same phoneme. For example, the phoneme C. This phoneme have a sound variation. But look at the example. It is the example of the phoneme C. When we pronounce it is cook and sell. It's different, and it is the example of allophone. The last is phonological rules. Phonological rules are rules that humans use to produce language when they communicate with one another. There are 7 rules in phonological rules, as assimilation, dissimulation, deletion, insertion, metathesis, partition, and lenition. Some of these rules can be used to have our pronunciation more natural, like native speaker. In morphology, we talk about word, because it studies word in human language, either as word structure, word pattern, and word formation. The first is word structure. In word structure, we talk about morphemes. Morphemes is the components of language, like sentence, word, still the smallest unit of a language or word, who still have meaning. Morphemes not only contain meaning but also lexical and grammatical information. For example, look at this. The morpheme S in the word places is used to indicate plural number, and the morpheme is it contains grammatical function. Another example is this. The morpheme shant or ient in the word suggestion is from the word suggest, which is contain lexical function from a verb to noun. There are 2 types of morphemes, as the first is free morpheme. Free morpheme which can stand alone without attached by another morpheme and still have meaning. And the second is bound morpheme, which will have a specific meaning if attached to free morpheme. For example, like suffix es or suffix ed, either affix and prefix. The next is word pattern. In word pattern, we talk about inflection. Inflection is a rule in language that used by adding suffix in a free morpheme that form grammatical function. In English, there are 3 types of inflection, as inflection of nouns, inflection of adjective, and inflection of verb. Inflection of nouns is intended to show a meaning of a noun in their number, like a plural and singular and then possessive. For example, this word. The word pen is changed to pants by adding suffix s, which is changed the meaning by plural noun to singular noun. and it's contain grammatical function. The next is inflection of adjective. It's commonly used to express grammatical of comparison. For example, this word, you are taller than me. The word taller is adjective by added suffix er, which is contain grammatical function of comparison, taller. And the last is inflection of verb by adding inflectional morphemes to verb. For example, the sentence, she goes to market. The word goes is contain inflectional grammatical function, which is by adding es in the word go is to indicate a present moment in verb. And the last is productive word formation, include compounding and derivation. Compounding is a process of combining two or more free morphemes, like compound noun, classroom, compound verb, wake up, compound adjective, open-minded, and then compound adverb, however. And derivation is a process of forming other words by adding suffix or prefix in existing word. For example, the word teach by adding suffix er will change to teacher, which is not only change the meaning but also change the word class from a verb to a noun. There are also less productive word formation, which is a process of forming words which are uncommonly used to create another word in English, like the word ad from word advertisement. In syntax, there are two concepts need to understand, that is the concept of sentence and the concept of structure. Sentence refers to the largest unit of a language constructed from a group of words that typically has a subject and a predicate, while structure refers to arrangement of a group of words applying a set of rules. So we can conclude that syntax studies rules of putting words together in a sentence. Based on transformative generative approach, feel the structure of sentence must be analyzed using a phrase structure. There are some parts of phrase structure as noun phrase, auxiliary verb phrase, prepositional phrase, and conjoined phrase. In semantics, there are two concepts need to understand, that is the linguistic meaning of word, phrase, as well as sentence and their interpretation. We talk about meaning. In linguists, there are two categories, that is lexical semantic and sentential semantic. Lexical semantics is focused on studying the meaning of word and the meaning's relationship among words. And sentential semantic is focused on studying the meaning of a larger unit than words, that is phrase, clauses, sentence, and the meaning's relationship among them. About interpretation. Interpretation of words, phrase, and sentence. It refers to explaining the meaning of a particular word or sentence. Well, the sentence have four phrase structure, that is noun phrase, auxiliary verb phrase, and prepositional phrase. The first is noun phrase. Noun phrase, which is the determinant, and noun, which is the as a determinant, teacher as a noun. The teacher is noun phrase. And the next is the suffix es, which is a simple present tense as a auxiliary. And the next there are verb phrase. Verb phrase is contain verb and noun phrase. The verb is teach, and the other noun phrase is determinant plus noun, which is the students. And this is the verb phrase, teach the students. And there is on, which is on as a preposition, and there is Thursday as a noun, which is a prepositional phrase. And this is the syntactical structure of this sentence. Well, the next is my sister can sing and sing sweetly. After I analyzed the syntactical structure of the sentence, I have found three phrase structure. It has noun phrase, which is their determiner plus noun, which is my sister. Can as a auxiliary, which is modal of present tense. And then there is a verbal phrase. There's a verb phrase, which is contain verb, noun phrase, and adverb. Sing as a verb, and is determiner, angus as an adjective, song as a noun, which is determinant plus adjective, and noun is noun phrase, and angus song is noun phrase, and sweetly it as a adverb. And verb plus noun phrase plus adverb is verb phrase. And this is the syntactical structure of this sentence. The next sentence is, a man broke my old card yesterday. Well, after analyzing, there are two phrase structure here, which is noun phrase. There are determiner plus noun, which is a man. And there's verbal phrase, which is from broke as a verbal, my old car as a determiner, adjective, and noun, which is noun phrase, and yesterday as an adverb, which is verb, noun phrase, and adverb is a verb phrase. So this the syntactical structure of this sentence. Well, the last sentence is, the dog is chasing the fat cat continuously. Well, after I analyze it, there are three phrase structure there. There's a noun phrase, auxiliary, and verb phrase. The first is the dog. The as a determiner, dog as a noun, which is noun phrase. And there is and suffix in, which is indicate a progressive tense, which is in the present, is as a auxiliary. And then chase is as a verb. The fat cat, the as a determiner, fat as an adjective, cat as a noun, and all of this determinant, adjective, and noun is noun phrase. And the last is continuously, which is adverb. And verb plus noun phrase plus adverb is a verbal phrase. So this is the syntactical structure of this sentence. Well, that's all of my explanation about the 10th question, and we can conclude that language is very important in our life, which is language that we use to communicate in social life. And language is a part of our social life. And if we want to learn about language, we must learn linguistics, because linguistics is a study about language. And linguistics will learn about phonetics, phonology, morphology, syntax, and semantics. And it's all about languages, from sound, sentence, word, meaning, and etc. By the way, for all the teachers and students out there, it's very recommended to learn about linguistics if you are take a module of language, because by learning linguistics, you will easy to understand about language. And for teacher especially, if you not about linguistic, if you have knowledge about linguistic, you will easy to teach about language to your student, which is about how to teach and what to teach. You'll easier to teach your student if you have knowledge of linguistic. And by the way, I want to recommend to you guys, if you want to learn linguistic, you can learn in a book, and I have a recommended book for you. This book is recommended for you guys who want to learn about a linguistic, especially to a language teacher, because this book is very easy to understand. I buy it on online shop. You can search it, and yeah. And thank you very much who still watch this video till the end. And I'm so sorry for all my mistake. Actually, I'm still steady, and hope you get benefit from my explanation. And have a good day, everyone. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.